The ocean's surface shimmered under the late afternoon sun, a deceptive calm masking the dangers lurking beneath. Five friends, Jake, a marine biologist, Sarah, an experienced diver, Mike, a thrill-seeking photographer, Lisa, a documentary filmmaker, and Tom, their nervous but excited newcomer, prepared to descend into the depths for a shark cage dive. As the steel cage was lowered into the water, the group's excitement was palpable. This was supposed to be a routine expedition, 30 minutes underwater, some incredible footage of great whites, and an adrenaline rush to last a lifetime. Jake double-checked everyone's equipment, his eyes lingering on Tom's trembling hands. The radio crackled to life as they sank deeper. "Weather's turning. Make it quick," came the boat captain's voice, cutting out abruptly. Sarah exchanged a worried glance with Jake, but they continued their descent. At 80 feet, the first shark appeared, a massive great white, circling the cage with predatory grace. Mike's camera whirred, capturing every moment. Tom's eyes widened behind his mask, a mix of terror and wonder. Suddenly, the cage jerked violently. Metal groaned as the shark rammed into them, sending the divers sprawling. Lisa's head hit the bars, her vision blurring momentarily. As they steadied themselves, Jake noticed something terrifying. The winch cable was fraying rapidly. With a sickening snap, the cable gave way. The cage plummeted through the water, a coffin of steel and terror. The group's screams were muffled by their regulators and the rush of water. They hit the ocean floor with a bone-jarring thud, kicking up a cloud of silt. As the sediment settled, reality sank in. They were trapped 150 feet below the surface, far beyond the safe limits of their dive plan. Sarah checked her dive computer, her face pale. "We have 20 minutes of air left," she announced grimly. Panic set in. Tom began hyperventilating, his air supply depleting rapidly. Mike pounded on the cage bars, as if brute force alone could free them. Lisa fumbled with her camera, determined to document their possible last moments. Jake, forcing himself to remain calm, assessed their situation. "We can't ascend too quickly," he warned. "The nitrogen buildup in our blood. We'd get decompression sickness. It would kill us before we reached the surface." Sarah nodded, her mind racing through their limited options. She examined the cage's emergency buoyancy system, but her heart sank. "The release valve is jammed," she said, her voice tight with fear. As the minutes ticked by, the group's desperation grew. The once exciting presence of sharks now felt like a death sentence, great shadows circling their metal prison. Tom had curled into a fetal position, conserving his dwindling air supply. Mike, his photographer's instincts kicking in even now, captured their dire situation on film. "If we don't make it," he said, his voice shaking, "at least our story will." Lisa, fighting against her rising panic, focused on her breathing. "There has to be a way out," she muttered, more to herself than the others. Her documentary experience had taught her that even the most hopeless situations could have unexpected resolutions. Jake and Sarah huddled together, their scientific minds working overtime. "If we could create enough buoyancy," Jake mused, "we might be able to control our ascent." As if in response to their desperation, a monstrous shape loomed out of the murky water. A whale shark, curious about the strange metal object on the sea floor, bumped gently against the cage. An idea struck Sarah. "The shark," she exclaimed. "If we can attach something to it, use it as a lift." With renewed purpose, the group sprang into action. Using spare equipment and quick thinking, they fashioned a makeshift harness. Jake, taking a calculated risk, opened the cage door just enough to secure their creation to the whale shark's massive form. As the gentle giant began to swim upward, the cage slowly lifted off the ocean floor. The ascent was agonizingly slow, but controlled enough to avoid the dangers of rapid decompression. Their air supplies dwindled to critical levels as they approached the surface. Tom had fallen unconscious, with Mike monitoring him closely. Lisa continued filming, her hands shaking but determined. Just as blackness began to creep into their vision, they broke the surface. The boat crew, who had been searching frantically, spotted them and rushed to their aid. As they were pulled from the water, gasping and trembling, the reality of their narrow escape began to sink in. They had faced the depths, confronted mortality, and emerged, changed, but alive. The ocean, once a realm of wonder and excitement, now held a new respect in their eyes. As the boat sped back to shore, the 5 friends sat in exhausted silence, the weight of their experience settling over them like the vast, unpredictable sea they had just escaped.
When the night gets bright and the stars align, we stir up dreams in cosmic time. A little stardust, a little tune, you're mixing it with the moon.